People now, Chris Pratt and Chris Evans celebrating Avengers Endgame's billion-dollar opening weekend with a rare behind-the-scenes cell phone video from the set.
Dr. Phil stirs controversy in our interview here on People Now. He has issued an apology. We'll explain.
How spicy are we getting with this?
Extremely spicy.
Real Housewives star Kandi Burruss has a steamy new show, plus updates us on her journey with surrogacy.
Mark Zuckerberg invented a sleep box for his wife. Now the Facebook co-founder's idea might soon be available for you too.
Plus,
people will often ask me, Doctor, whoopsie.
Glenn Howerton is here with details about this week's new episode of AP Bio. We also have some questions about Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to People Now. Great to see you. How you feeling?
I'm great.
Game of Thrones.
It was amazing.
Yeah, last night
I loved it.
That epic battle of Winterfell, it finally played out on Game of Thrones. Fans have been waiting for it. I mean, honestly, for years at this point.
And it delivered.
Yeah.
It definitely delivered. We want to know, who is your pick for MVP of last night's showdown? Was it Arya? Was it Lyanna? Was it Greyjoy or Jorah? So cast your vote in our People poll. Tweet us your thoughts using the hashtag #PeopleNow.
We're going to check in on the results and break down all the action from Sunday night's episode a little bit later in the show. For now, though, here's what you need to know and what's trending today. We start off with our royal baby watch. With the world waiting for baby Sussex to arrive, it seems as though Prince William doesn't even know when the baby's coming, at least based on some responses. Prince William had a hilarious response to the question we're all wondering, how much longer until he becomes an uncle again, jokingly saying that he has no idea. During his visit to New Zealand, the father of three was asked about the imminent arrival of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's baby. Fans and locals who are on royal baby watch, of course, inquired about Meghan's due date, with one boldly asking, any signs of the royal baby? As seen in a video shared on a fan account on Saturday, William responded, I haven't got my phone on me. I have no idea. You guys will find out before I do at this rate. Now, while he might not know when baby Sussex is due, let's hope that he knows the significance of today's date. Fun fact, it is William and Kate's 8th wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary. They got married on this day back in 2011 at Westminster Abbey in London. Time flies. These pictures seem like they were just from a few years ago. It has really gone by quickly. Meanwhile, on Sunday, Harry made an appearance at the London Marathon where he cheered on runners, met with volunteers, watched some of the runners, and presented medals to the London Marathon and wheelchair winners. A palace spokesperson tells People that Harry had always planned to go, but it was not announced in advance in case he couldn't make it due to the birth of his child. With the arrival of baby Sussex imminent, Meghan, who is expecting her first child with Harry, was, of course, absent. We wish them the best. Now watch this.
They're broken up. Do you think this is it, or do you think they'll get back together again?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that deeply into it, but I know that she's very strong and that I just feel like she's in a really good place.
Kourtney Kardashian opening up about her sister Khloé following her split from ex Tristan Thompson. During an episode of Ellen, which airs Monday, the Keeping Up with the Kardashians star got candid about how Khloé is coping following the cheating scandal that resulted in Khloé's second split from him. But despite all that drama, Kourtney says Khloé's doing well and reveals that she's great at, quote, dealing with her emotions. Kourtney also says the scandal united their family. She explains, quote, I think moments like this really bring our family closer together, and you realize how important family is. She adds that's the best she can do, and she's the best mother to her daughter, and that's where all her energy is going. Kourtney's update comes weeks after Khloé reunited with Tristan to celebrate their daughter True's first birthday. The basketball player was spotted at baby True's party, marking the first time the two have been seen together after he was accused of cheating on her with Kylie Jenner's best friend, Jordan Woods. Tristan was first accused of cheating on Khloé last year, just 2 days before she gave birth to True. A video of Tristan surfaced showing him getting close to an unidentified woman. At the same time, TMZ also shared footage of Tristan kissing one woman while other women groped him. It was quite the video, if you remember. Though Tristan never publicly addressed any of the allegations, a source previously told People they aren't getting back together, but that Khloé has no desire to shut Tristan out of True's life. All right, on to this. Daniel Craig is revealing he's ready for a bit of a change after he wraps his final James Bond movie. And when asked who should replace him in a recent interview with The Mirror, he said this, I think that everybody should be considered. Also, for women and for African Americans, there should be great parts anyway across the board. James Bond has previously been played by Sean Connery, Pierce Brosnan, Roger Moore, and others. Everyone has their favorite one. For me, Pierce Brosnan kind of hit the sweet spot. That was when I was growing up. Anyway, Craig went on to say that if the iconic womanizing secret agent was actually played by a woman, she could be portrayed differently, ultimately changing societal attitudes. One former Bond girl, Madeline Smith, echoed Craig's thoughts on having a woman play James Bond. She chatted with the UK's This Morning saying, quote, "I cannot see any reason why ultimately a woman, a lady, a girl cannot play the James Bond character." There have been some very iconic Bond girls, from Eva Green to Halle Berry, Ursula Andress, just to name a few. A Bond girl typically, of course, may be an ally or an enemy of Bond. We don't know until it all unfolds. Sometimes they're imperative to the mission. Other times, they're considered eye candy. Now, Halle Berry could be a fun choice as a Bond. She starred alongside Pierce Brosnan as Jinx Johnson in Die Another Day. Fun fact about that, because there was so much made about that swimsuit, Halle Berry didn't actually make that iconic swimsuit iconic. That was actually Swiss actress Ursula Andress, who wore the same swimsuit in 1962's Dr. No, where she played Honey Ryder. Now, 40 years later, Halle Berry donned a similar swimsuit in orange for Die Another Day. There's the history of the swimsuit. The next James Bond installment starring Daniel Craig hits theaters in April 2020. Women have already been asked to assist in writing the script, so maybe the future can be female for James Bond. We will find out. Hailey Baldwin is addressing her critics on social media. The model and her husband, Justin Bieber, were at the center of speculation over the weekend after fans noticed Bieber's search history in an Instagram story that he posted Thursday. It included a video of a Coachella performance featuring his ex, Selena Gomez. So follow along here. While Baldwin's tweets on Saturday, they weren't directed at any one person in particular, nor did they address the specific incident. She did say in one post, "I wish people didn't have to be so cruel on social media. People are awful to you and then wonder why you get defensive." A follow-up tweet read, "I just wish people knew my heart." Then Bieber's mom responded to her daughter-in-law on Sunday, writing, "I'm sorry you have to experience anything but love, my darling. You are brave and beautiful inside and out. Just keep being yourself and being you, your beautiful self. You are an incredible gift, highly valued and deeply loved. Who cares what they think?" So she kind of gave her the encouragement there. This all started Thursday night. Bieber posted an Instagram story that made fun of a news outlet for spelling his last name wrong, but it backfired when eagle-eyed fans, maybe a bit obsessed with things, pointed out Gomez's performance in his browsing history. In a series of Instagram comments that followed, Bieber set the record straight about what really happened, writing in part, quote, "The video of Selena singing Taki Taki came up after my wife and I watched my Coachella performance. Obviously, she's going to be in the related category. It literally was the next video that played." And that, by the way, makes complete sense. He went on to slam people for stirring up drama, saying that they should, quote, "grow up." Bieber and Baldwin have been at the receiving end of remarks about Gomez since their relationship began. Just last month, Bieber slammed a commenter who said that he wasn't in love with Baldwin and was only using her to get back at Gomez. Bieber saying in part, "Why would I dedicate my whole life to someone in marriage to get back at an ex-girlfriend?" He then went on to reveal that his wife is, quote, "absolutely the best thing that has ever happened to me, period." That's how he put it.
I mean, these fans need to leave them alone.
It's always one of those things, it would be tough not to weigh in on it if you're him.
If you're him, and yeah, because it's very frustrating that they keep bringing Selena back into it.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's just, I feel for them because they didn't ask for this, and fans are obviously getting obsessed with it.
You weigh it out, and when they do response, it just brings more attention. But at the same time, it allows them to kind of frame it the way they want to. So I do understand it. But yeah, I mean,
just
come on.
stop commenting negative things. Like, stop bringing Selena into it.
Like, they seem very happy.
Go take a walk in the park. Like, go do something else.
On a bike ride. All right, more for us on Star Trek.
Yes, I do. Wow, I got really riled up there. We're kicking off Star Trek today with a behind-the-scenes look into the Marvel Universe.
This is a really illegal video.
Big trouble.
Oh, big time.
I love this. That's Chris Pratt and his buddy Chris Evans sharing a cool behind-the-scenes look at the set of Avengers Endgame. The caption to the video saying, "I remember being blown away in this moment on the Avengers set. Nobody was allowed to film anything on their phones. I said, screw it. No rule was going to stop me from seizing this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to capture this collection of stars, a group that likely will never be in the same room again. We are so blessed." Now, Pratt has reason to celebrate, of course. His Guardians of the Galaxy character Star-Lord is part of this insane ensemble cast in this now record-breaking film. Avengers Endgame completely smashed the box office this weekend with a $1.2 billion debut worldwide. That is a crazy number. That blew last year's Avengers Infinity War out of the water by hundreds of millions. Endgame marks the 22nd movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That whole timeline starting back in 2008 with Iron Man. Now, according to Variety, those films have now grossed over $19 billion collectively. That is a lot of money. All right, we move on to this. This year's 2019 Met Gala will be a full circle moment for one couple, Nick Jonas and his now wife, Priyanka Chopra. They first attended the Met Gala together back in 2017, walking the iconic red carpet side by side. That's when they were first romantically linked together. Now, although they didn't walk the carpet together last year, this year the newlyweds will serve as co-hosts of of the event, Nick is ready. The singer jokes with ET that he hopes he gets a clipboard with all the names to make sure everybody's on the list. Be a pretty funny sight if that actually happened. Then he goes on to admit he doesn't actually know what his responsibilities are, but he says, "I'm really thrilled they asked me to do that." His job responsibilities aren't the only thing he's excited for. What else do people get excited for at the Met Gala? The outfits, of course, they're always insane. We cannot wait to see what the couple has in store for us. Nick says, "To be honest, I'm very excited. I love the Met Gala. It's always a fun night, but Priyanka will set the tone and I'm just going to be there to support her." I love that. He says his outfit is coming together and that he plans to keep it simple and let Priyanka shine. Very cute. The couple tied the knot back in December of 2018. And those are your Star Tracks for today.
All right, stay with us. Did the Battle of Winterfell live up to everyone's expectations? And which characters didn't live through it? We are breaking down Sunday night's episode of Game of Thrones, including the one dark complaint some fans had. Plus, we're catching up with It's Always Sunny and AP Bio star Glenn Howerton. Looking forward to that. He's here live in just a little bit.
All right, guys, Dr. Phil was in some hot water over the weekend, but is now apologizing for it. So he just appeared on our show to talk to us about that college admission scam. If you missed it, here's what he said.
You know, they're not buying their kids an education. That's not what it's about. I don't think it has anything to do with the education. I think this is jewelry for a lot of these people. The kids are leaving high school. They don't want to say, my kid's going to the junior college. They'll say, my kid's going to Harvard, my kid's going to USC or Yale. I think it's bragging rights for them, and they don't want to be the one parent that says, well, yeah, my kid's going to, Slippery Rock.
Okay, so there's the comment. He mentioned Slippery Rock, right?
Yeah.
Well, Slippery Rock heard it, responded to that comment on their Facebook page. Let's show their response. The lengthy post starts off with Slippery Rock's president cheekily saying to Dr. Phil, "You mentioned Slippery Rock University by name as the antithesis of a trophy school. We suspect that you didn't mean that as a compliment, but we take it as one anyway." Yeah,
the post continues in part saying, "You know that choosing a regional public school is anything but a hollow search for bragging rights at a reception after the country club's Memorial Day golf outing. In a world of trophies and medals for just showing up, schools like MSC and Slippery Rock University provide a refreshing alternative." Which I totally agree with. A state school's great.
Yeah,
Probably going to college in general.
Well written too. It's kind of punchy, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Phil issued an apology, also well written. It reads, "It was from ignorance, not intention, that I made the comment, as I was unaware of your school and intended to use a fictitious example. 100% my mistake. I have since educated myself about SRU and cannot be more impressed with your fine institution."
It's actually ranked very highly. It's a great school. I mean, he didn't mean it as an attack on any non-elite school. It was kind of a general comment. He was saying that's what those parents feel. It wasn't his thoughts on that school.
Yeah, right. I mean, he was making the point in general that, and maybe calling to bring into light this whole college structure. You've got elite schools. It means this or that to be in those, and maybe these other schools don't get as much notoriety as they deserve, and the people that go to them.
Well, and he did say that he didn't know that Slippery Rock was a school.
Right.
So, but it is very specific. To throw, like if you're making up a made-up school name, I don't know if that's the one I would go for, but yeah.
Either way, the college admission scam, it has everyone talking and all these different pieces of it. I do believe that Dr. Phil had the best of intentions trying to make the larger point there.
I'm glad he cleared it up. I understand why they were upset, but hopefully now this can all, and now a lot more people know about Slippery Rock.
Maybe than ever before.
Yeah.
We'll have more of our interview with Dr. Phil Tuesday. Make sure to check that out.
All right, guys, so Game of Thrones kicked into high gear on Sunday. High bloody gear. The much anticipated Battle of Winterfell blew audiences away. There were a lot of heartbreaking and shocking moments mixed in that as well.
Big fat spoiler alert here.
Yeah, seriously, I don't want anyone mad at us.
Don't say we did not warn you.
Just mute this, come back after this.
As expected, there were a bunch of deaths, maybe not as much as some fans anticipated, still a solid amount. Spoiler alert.
Yes, okay, the biggest one was the Night King dying. Finally, the moment we'd all been waiting for. I'm so glad he is just done. It was kind of cool when he raised the dead, but it was a lot cooler when he got killed.
So many people really thought Bran was in trouble until you saw Arya come out of nowhere. Safe to say Arya, the MVP of the battle, in many people's opinion, she really stepped it up, managed to kill the Night King, even though he kind of caught her, right? In that moment, very epic. What did she say to the God of Death?
Not today. I saw so many people tweeting about that. Not today. Oh, it was the best moment.
Not today,
and we had so many predictions going in. I don't think anyone predicted that.
No, it was a big moment.
I love that it was her. While we're talking about Arya, this couldn't have happened without the Red Woman, Melisandre. A great way to end her story. She's kind of served a purpose. She walks out to her death with Sir Davos just watching. Such a moment. I mean, look, she's what, like 400 years old or something? I think it was time for her to go.
And so Sir Davos, how about let's talk about Sir Friendzone, Jorah. What a man, dying, saving Khaleesi, just like he would have wished for, but even though in the sacrifice he remains stuck in the friend zone, it's impossible to leave. Only got a bit of a side hug from Daenerys.
I wasn't that sad to see Jorg. Something about him was always rubbed me the wrong way, a little creepy. I don't know. He was fine. He was fine.
Even a
Brave.
guy like that deserves love.
Yeah, no, he does. All right. It was also great seeing Ghost next to Jorah at the start. Bit concerning for him during the fight. Thankfully, the promo of next episode shows he survived. I mean, I love the people on Game of Thrones, but the animals, you never want to see them go.
Yeah. How about this heroic sacrifice? Theon Greyjoy in the Homecoming, standing tall till the end, protecting Bran, basically atoning for all the past sins in that one moment. He has to go down as an honorary Stark at this point.
Yeah, look,
right?
he's been through a lot. He's had quite the journey, but I feel like he kind of made up for it in the end, protecting Bran. And that was the saddest one for me, seeing him go.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I can't get enough of Lady Lyanna Mormont as well. The giant killer, an epic scene, epic way to die. So she knew she was dying, but was able to take the giant down with her. I mean, this little girl is a badass. So it was really fun watching her on the entire run.
Let's talk about another heroic death. Beric Dondarrion giving up his life, saving Arya. If you think about it, Arya was stuck, and without Beric sacrificing himself, the Night King would have probably still been alive. So it was pretty pivotal.
Yeah, and that was my favorite part of the episode when Arya was hiding in the library and trying to get away from all this. That was like so chilling, and that was a really cool moment. There were a bunch of other epic moments as well. The dragon fight, the Dothraki swords on fire and then slowly being extinguished. That was a super creepy and chilling moment there. After 2 episodes of setup, definitely an action-packed episode.
So yeah, a lot of people talking about that. The show also, as we're even seeing these clips, was too dark for some fans. Literally too dark. Many people complaining that they couldn't see the show. My feed was blowing up with people saying like, this sounds great, if only I could see what was happening. A lot of the fans complaining about having to turn up the brightness on their TV.
We're looking at it right there. You can't, it was so dark. They couldn't have done it at dawn? That's my question. I couldn't make out most of what was going on.
Or kind of like with an effects-heavy show like this, especially this season, couldn't they have like calibrated
I don't
it
know. Okay, look, a producer on our show and also 2 editors said they didn't have a problem, but I didn't believe them because I really couldn't see anything. And I kept saying to the people I was watching with, I'm like, can you guys see this? They're like, no, not really.
I get really kind of anal about TV settings.
Yeah.
And honestly, like this is one of those things where different TVs have different settings. And for some, it's literally like you can't make anything out. Others, it will probably look perfect.
It was a choice. I get it. Look, it was the content of the episode. It's winter. It's night.
It's still annoying.
It was still aggravating. Yeah. I was very, very mad. Look, that was the episode.
Yeah, there's kind of a thing. Like
Flashes.
If it was a scene and there were lots of torches, you were in luck. Otherwise,
I didn't know that you could actually turn the brightness up on your TV, though. Is that a thing that would help?
No. Well, yes. Yep. Every TV.
Well, guess what? Most of people on Twitter didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Guess who didn't have a problem? Leslie Jones, fully pumped, excited, and giving commentary about the prospect of Khaleesi and Jon Snow battling Cersei now with. Look, she tweeted out, we can't even, we have to bleep it all out. Here we come, Cersei, and we ain't gonna be blank either. We face death in one. We can't even give you a glimpse of what she said.
She made the most hilarious videos about this. So go to Leslie Jones' Twitter. I mean, obviously there's some expletives and it's
not safe for work, turn it down.
But go look at her commentary because it's so funny. We watched that one video like 4 times in a row.
It's hilarious.
All right, in honor of one epic episode, let's check in on our people poll. We've been asking who you think was last night's Game of Thrones MVP. I think this one's going to be pretty obvious.
Twitter user Judea says, hands down, it's Arya, but
I mean, it's Arya.
At House Marmot says you have to give it to Theon. He held on till the end.
Yeah, not today. So some good gifts coming in.
Not today. Lyanna, Giant Slayer, Mormont. There you go. All right, looking good. Keep voting, guys, for your pick, and now we move on to this.
All right, Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg recently revealed how creative he got to help his wife Priscilla Chan get some shut-eye.
I love this story. So the couple shares 2 daughters, both under the age of 4, which means sleep can be very difficult. Maxima, who's 3, August, 1.5.
I can't imagine. Zuckerberg revealed on where else but Facebook that he recently created something he calls the sleep box in order to help his wife stay asleep at night. He explained, this is what he says, being a mom is hard. Since we've had kids, Priscilla has had a hard time sleeping through the night. She'll wake up and check the time on her phone to see if the kids might wake up soon, but then knowing the time stresses her out, she can't fall back asleep.
I absolutely relate to this.
Yeah, you have trouble
I do this even in
sleeping.
life in general, like not knowing how close I am to waking up and all that. So Zuckerberg said the dilemma led him to create this small wooden box. You can see it. It looks really nice. It sits atop Priscilla's nightstand and it puts out this dim light between the hours of 6 and 7 a.m. His whole point was that the light is, quote, visible enough that if she sees it, she'll know it's an okay time for one of us to get the kids, but faint enough that the light won't wake her up if she's still asleep.
So interesting. So it's not a clock doesn't show the time so that if Priscilla wakes up in the middle of the night, she knows she can go back to sleep without fear of sleeping too long. So she sees the light and then it's like, okay, I'm good. Or,
But doesn't see the time, so she doesn't have to know like, oh, I'm only 5 minutes away, or oh my gosh, it's an hour, or whatever. Like the mind games start and then you can't go back to sleep. Zuckerberg, what were you gonna say?
He said the intervention has so far worked better than he expected. His wife is now able to sleep through the night, which obviously is amazing.
He even said this, quote, as an engineer, building a device to help my partner sleep better is one of the best ways I can think of to express my love and gratitude.
And he went on to say, a bunch of my friends have told me they'd want something like this. So I'm putting this out there in case another entrepreneur wants to run with this, build sleep boxes for more people. Well, I think a lot of people are this will probably be on Shark Tank.
That's what I was going to say. Is it going to be on Shark Tank next?
Yeah.
So Zuckerberg has previously opened up about how becoming a father has changed the way he runs his business. In 2017, CNBC reported that at a college town hall, he said, having kids does change how you think about the world in a pretty dramatic way. It does. I can attest to that.
All right, The Real Housewives of Atlanta just wrapped up its 11th season. Kandi Burruss has been with the show since season 2, which means she's seen a lot of drama over the years.
But before we get into Housewives, we had to ask Kandi about her new 12-city tour. It's a steamy tour. It kicks off this week on May 2nd in Chicago. How spicy are we getting with this?
Extremely spicy.
Sum it up for us.
They gave just a little taste of it on The Real Housewives, and it's very risque. I mean, I'm giving people, it's a costume party with a sex dungeon theme, okay? So everybody has to wear a sex dungeon costume, okay? And it's a variety show with special guests that we have that are coming in.
What should I wear? What do the women wear?
Oh, the women wear almost nothing. No,
Like,
I mean, it's like you can wear as much as you want, or as or as little as you want. It's all about bringing out your alter ego and just having fun with it. We do have some erotic performers, but then I also have like Tamar Braxton is performing. I have Trina performing. Shamari DeVoe is coming.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes,
Oh, cool.
yes, she's gonna be on the tour with me. I mean, and I have a lot of surprise pop-up guests that are gonna come in each city. Like, it's really crazy.
Sounds
like
really
I'm gonna
fun.
have. I got a money box where people can come in if they put honey on their body and stick the money to us. Whatever money you stick to yourself, you can take with you.
I'm texting Tara to get my sex dungeon costume out of storage real quick.
What do the guys wear at these things?
I don't know.
That seems like a wild, wild show. Can you imagine?
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Kandi was on Celebrity Big Brother. If you didn't know, it was this winter with her dungeon tour mate, Tamar Braxton. But how would her Real Housewives castmates do in the Big Brother house?
So Kandi thinks Portia and Cynthia would do the best. She says people would underestimate them. But who would do the worst? Watch.
I don't think Nene would be able to deal with being in a house with people that she never gets to leave the house, and she's just there the entire time with people that she may or may not get along with. No.
It's a lot.
Because
It'll be a whole lot.
Yeah. I mean, talking about Nene, were you surprised that she was so shut down during the reunion?
Ooh, that eye roll.
Well, I just, it was typical Nene stuff to me. I mean, she was giving us, oh, I'm the HBIC, I'm this, I'm that. Yeah.
When the hot mic moment, she discussed it. She said that you weren't important.
Candy's not
First
important.
of all, I don't have to lie about anything. I wanted Candy.
What was the deal with that? What do you think she meant by that?
You know what's so funny? Like, everybody was like, why didn't you go off? Why didn't you get upset? Well, first of all, she's the last person I look at to validate me. But at the same time, when she first said it, honestly, the way I took it was, she and I aren't really friends. So if I bring somebody to the party that she doesn't like, that's not important. She's like, I mean, it doesn't matter if you brought, what matters to her is that Cynthia, who is her close friend, did not make her aware that, another person was coming that she didn't care for. So that's the way I took it when I was sitting there, and that's why I didn't really, react. But, maybe I should have reacted.
Yeah, in hindsight, would you have?
Not really, because I'm just like, what am I going to say? I am important.
Like, you already know you're important, right?
Like, girl, clearly I got a lot going on, and what you say is not really important to me either.
So Cynthia and Nene kind of go back and forth. Do you think that they're ultimately going to come back as friends?
Well, lately, it has seemed like a pretty strong standoff on both sides. Like, both of them are like,
No one's giving in.
Yeah, I don't know if either one have an interest of fixing things right now. But you never know. That's how I look at it.
You never know in that world. But a lot of the drama at the end of the season revolved around Kandi bringing back former castmate Kenya Moore to Cynthia's event. We, of course, had to ask about Kenya's possible return once again. How likely do you think that Kenya Moore would come back full time?
I hope very likely. I think it's very likely. I mean, I guess it depends on whatever her Kenya and production discuss.
Yeah.
You know, whatever they work out.
You'd be very happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it to everybody from the beginning. From the time they said she wasn't coming back, I was over there like, hey, she needs to be back.
She's coming back, okay.
You know, I've
Or you
been
want her to
saying
come
that.
How'd you feel when you found out that Nene brought Phaedra Parks to Andy Cohen's baby shower?
You know, I was in the Big Brother house when that happened, so I didn't find out until after
later.
I came out.
Did it soften it a little bit? Probably because you got out of the Big Brother house and
I
then
didn't really care. It's like, for me, I kind of like expect that from, you know, Nene. I mean, it's just like, to me, it's like, she's kind of, in my mind, kind of tit for tat. So, okay, well, you brought Kenya to this party. I'm going to bring Phaedra to this party. And it's like,
So
okay.
she's trying to get at you, but you're actually locked away and don't have communication.
Yeah, I don't even care. Like, I don't care. You know, it's like, you do what you got to do.
If Phaedra comes back to the show, you okay with it?
No.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, no.
Like, don't want it to happen.
You know, and for me, it's like, if that's what they want to do, that's fine. You know, I'm cool, but I just won't be a part of that, you know?
Okay. All right, now fans will remember that Phaedra Parks hasn't been on the show since she allegedly started a rumor that her former best friend Kandi tried to drug and rape cast member Portia Williams. Now, Kandi went on to tell us about that whole situation.
Especially in this whole cancel culture we have right now. Everybody wants to get canceled for everything. So if somebody is like, you know, drugging people and doing this, we're canceling them. We want them arrested. We want action taken. But do we ever think about that person, that if that person's innocent and a person lied on them, what happens to that person? They just get to walk away and then nothing happens.
And then live with that. Right?
Yeah, it's just like, okay, like, get back to work as usual.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just, you know, I don't have a problem with, you know, her being a part of the thing. I'm just saying I don't want us to have to deal with each other. That's all. So, you know, I would take my break and let her do it if that's what it is. It's no big deal.
And Marlo Thomas has been on the show on and off as either a friend or of a guest since season 4. But in recent years, she's gotten a lot more screen time. So we wanted to know if Kandi thought she would get a peach next season and become a full-fledged housewife.
You know, I mean, to be fair to Marlo, I feel, because I was actually, you know, producing another show a while back that she was supposed to be a part of. I feel like nobody has ever given her a chance to tell her personal story. And that's the difference between a housewife peach holder and a friend of the show. Like, you get to see our personal life story outside of the group. And I feel like she definitely has an interesting story.
And I guess the other question would be, would she want that? Do you think she would want to tell her story?
I think she definitely would.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know she would.
Yeah, because
you know, on another show.
Okay, but I mean, you know, sometimes people are like, okay, I don't want to reveal everything about my life. When you get to that level, it's all coming out.
Yeah, but I mean, she's been taking the heat just from being a friend, so she might as well get the benefits.
All right, we also had to check in on something exciting going on during Kandi's personal life right now. Watch this.
Before you go, we were hoping to get an update on your surrogacy plan. How far along are you on the journey? Can you give us any updates?
I can't tell you everything, but we definitely moved forward. And, you know, I'm praying that all continues to go well.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, congrats on that.
Well, we'll definitely be looking out for more news on Kandi's surrogacy. Very exciting time for her.
Everybody, make sure to get your tickets to the Welcome to the Dungeon tour. She is going to be in 12 different cities throughout the month of May. If you're in Atlanta, go to eat at one of the 3 locations of Kandi's restaurant. Really amazing. OLG. Check it out.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Oh, stop, please. Thank you. So my name is Dr. Jack Griffin, and this is my presentation entitled The Pursuit of Happiness Through Societal Regression. Now, people often ask me, whoops. So people will often ask me, you know, Doctor, whoopsie. Oh my God, Jack. Oh my God. You okay? Ralph, you gotta get me out of here, man. I'm really hurt. Okay.
Pat and Oswald to the rescue there. Very painful moments. We're joined today by Jack Griffin himself, AP Bio's Glenn Howerton. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
You've recovered from the fall.
Yeah, I do my own stunts.
Okay, wow.
I'm a little like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, no, right.
In that sense, you know what I mean? Like, I think Glenn Howerton and Tom Cruise, you know, that's often in the same sense.
Synonymous. And it was a pretty deep stage, so, I mean, that was a fall.
That was a steep fall.
Well, let's talk about that clip. I mean, he's preparing for a TED Talk, it's not working out, the test run.
Yeah, he's it's basically an audition tape for the TED Talk, and I'm taking advantage of the fact that I have an entire auditorium filled with high school kids as an audition tape for my TED Talk. And I mean, I'm literally right at the beginning of it where I'm just trying to introduce myself, and I end up introducing myself as Dr. Whoopsie. And then, of course, in this episode, that becomes like a big YouTube thing. And so, you know, the next day at class, I'm like, how do we get rid of this video? And they're like, brother, you don't.
It is forever.
Once something's on the internet, that is it.
Can we just say that in real life, I feel the pain watching that because high school or middle school kids or junior high are among the scariest people in the world, aren't they?
It's a frightening time because everybody's insecure, and you know, there's two ways to react when you're insecure. One is to go deep down inside yourself. The other is to ridicule others.
Right, and they will
You know what I
ridicule
mean?
in a way. All right, so season 2, first season was sort of revolving around revenge a bit, but now your character is kind of trying to embrace and connect with Toledo a little more.
Yeah.
How has his attitude changed, and how does that play out?
It's been, you know, it's really fun because it gives me an opportunity to go out into the city of Toledo, where my character's from, and trying to immerse himself. And I think I think Jack secretly kind of is falling back in love with his hometown, but he would never actually admit that. So he has his front is, oh, I'm writing a book about my town, so I have to engage. Yeah, exactly. I have to get involved in these things. So that's kind of his excuse. But I think secretly he's you know, he's kind of loving it and falling in love. But he would never admit it.
Right. Yeah, the front is there. It's gotta
Your
be better.
character, it's so funny. I also love that Patton Oswalt's kind of becoming your right-hand man here. What was your favorite thing about working with him?
Well, I mean, he's just a hysterical human being. I mean, behind the scenes, you know, Patton and I get to sit and he's like a pop culture junkie. You know what I mean? So anything, you can talk about books, comic books, graphic novels, music. Like I can talk to, and I'm like a little bit of a pop culture nerd. So, you know, a lot of times we're talking about music.
Yeah, what would you nerd out the most on? Like,
I would say probably music. I mean, we talk about music quite a bit, you know, and but just everything, and also just getting his. I mean, he's a stand-up comic, so the way his brain works it's similar to the way my brain works. Is I see everything, and I have to make a joke out of it. It's sort of a survival mechanism.
Yeah.
The world's such a crazy place that like I have to find the funny spin on it. Otherwise, like I'll literally spin out.
Yeah.
I'm like a negative.
Patton Oswalt he's been through so much too. I mean, it seems like he's worked through a lot and come out on the other side. Was your impression that he seems to be in a good place?
Yeah, he's in a very good place. I mean, you know, he's remarried, and you know, and his wife Meredith is just such a terrific human being, and I don't think it was his intention to find somebody, you know, a year after, you know, something so tragic happened. But, you know, he's the kind of person, he put in the work. You know, he worked on himself and he worked through it. In other words, he didn't just try to cover it up and act like, you know, nothing happened. I mean, but he's also just an incredibly strong person. So it doesn't surprise me that he's found the positive side of all this.
So you get to work with him. Also, a little cameo from the great Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
How incredible is that? I mean, for me, I'm immediately like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine a day on set with that guy. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, man, what a dream.
Is there a takeaway?
Yeah, that he's just like, honestly, the takeaway for me was that he's an incredible actor. And you know, having enjoyed his performances over the years and growing up with him, I always thought he was great, but watching him work, I was like, man, this guy is really, really good. You get a better sense of it when you're actually in the room with the guy, or I guess we were outside, but it was the same way, you know, like working with Billy Bob Thornton on Fargo.
Yeah.
Getting to actually be face to face with this guy and just watch him work, you know, sometimes I would get so mesmerized that
you forget that you have to turn
do
on.
you have like a moment sometimes where you like fanboy a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris and I didn't get to work together for that long, but like certainly with Billy Bob, I mean, it was like, I mean, you get kind of sucked into. I mean, he draws you in. I mean, some of his work is so subtle too that it just instead of it kind of coming at you, you sort of like start getting
Like
sucked
lean into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then playing a biology teacher, you've said that you enjoyed that kind of science when you were in high school. Something about dissecting a pig, right? I've read that or heard that.
Yeah. Well, if you're lucky enough, you get the opportunity as a kid in science to get handed a tiny, tiny dead pig, a fetal pig.
We did that too, yeah.
Yeah, in the science class.
And you get to, you're like, and you're handed a razor, and you look at the teacher and you go, so I'm supposed to, you want me
to do this.
To do this, because this feels like really psycho. Like
Yeah, it really does.
yeah, you want me to slice into this animal, and this is something we're all, okay, fine, yeah, and you're like, I guess I know, you're like,
You're also in high school and have no idea what you're doing. Yeah. But you were good at it? Was it?
I mean, I guess.
You passed.
Yeah, I mean, I got handed a sharp X-Acto knife, and slicing into it wasn't that tough. But no, I always found, I don't know, I was one of those people that hated school. I loved school. I thought school was awesome. It was where like all my friends were. It's where all the sports were. I was into girls, and there were girls there. And I got to learn cool new stuff every day. Like I didn't really see what the problem was. And then
that's a great endorsement for school, everybody.
Guys, stay in school.
Stay in school. Do it.
I had a lot of fun in school too, so I feel you.
I thought school was great. I don't understand why people don't like learning things. Like, learning stuff? Who doesn't like learning stuff?
I don't want to be smart. Let's talk about this. Let's learn more about you. Can we segue into that? First time on People Now. You have moved around quite a bit. Tell us a little bit about your background. Your family was in the military.
Yeah, my dad was an Air Force pilot, and he jerked us all over the world. Thanks, Dad. No, Dad, if you're watching, it's fine. Trust me, I've adjusted. But no, it is a little tough though, because you don't have that hometown. I never had like my football team or anything.
But you land in Alabama. That's like football country, right?
Well, college football.
Okay, right. Oh, okay.
See, my thing with like professional sports is I think I could get on board if everybody on the team from that city was from
the city, right?
I think that should be a rule. Or if not from the city, at least from the state. Like, I think everybody who plays in the Eagles should have to be from Pennsylvania.
Oh, interesting. Okay, it was
I like
interesting.
that though. We have a few photos here, so we're gonna pop them up. You tell us what memories come back. Ready? So start with this one.
Old yearbook photo. What's going on here? What do you know the year?
I believe that was 9th grade, Baldwin Junior High.
Braces going?
Yeah. Oh, did I have the braces there?
I think so.
Yeah.
Nice smile.
Yeah, I think that's 9th grade.
Plaid.
I would like to point out that I won Best All Around in the Who's Who that year.
Oh, really?
Excuse me. So regardless of what you may see there and how you may judge it, just know that guy was Best All Around. Baldwin Junior High.
Who's Who?
Nice.
Actually, I could see it. It makes sense.
All right, we have another one. This is a Mongoose Blue Max BMX bike.
Oh,
It's actually a killer bike, though.
Good get. Yeah, mine didn't quite look like that, but yeah, I had a Mongoose Blue Max. I think I got it when I was about 8 years old. And man, I think I rode that thing until I was like 15.
And you rode it in Korea, right?
Yeah, I rode it all around Seoul, Korea, where I was living at the time, and then we moved to Alabama after that, and we took it there. And I mean, I think I rode that thing until it was like literally falling apart and rusted and almost destroyed.
All right, the trip down.
Cool, that's so cool.
More memory lane. Look at this. This is an 80s Chevy Blazer truck. Tell us the significance of a Chevy Blazer truck to you.
Well, in Montgomery,
There's another one.
Yeah. In Montgomery, Alabama, if you had any kind of a giant SUV, that was like the coolest thing ever.
Okay.
So Chevy Blazer, Nissan Pathfinder.
And those retro ones
So
were
you're
huge.
a cool kid.
Well, I didn't have one.
Oh.
I had a '66 Volvo.
Okay, got it.
But it was pearl colored, and we called it Pearl Jam. And
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. It was a 2-door. It was a four-speed stick shift. I could get that thing up to about 80 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable. All right, so now we know more about you. Thank you for that. Let's switch gears here. Did you see your friend Rob's appearance on Game of Thrones? Rob McElhaney.
You know you're a big Game of Thrones fan.
I am a big Game of Thrones fan. I do not know what happened on
yesterday.
I did not see the show yet, so thank you for not spoiling it. Yep, that was Rob McElhaney. We're like friends with the guys who created the show, Benioff and Weiss. And I actually went to college with Brian Cogman, who's one of the head writers on the show too. Weirdly, he was an actor there, and now he's a writer on the show. That's a whole story. You should talk to Cogman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we will.
Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty funny to see Rob
doing the thing on GOT.
Greasy long hair.
Should we talk about Always Sunny quickly?
Sure.
What can you tell us about the future of the show? Is there anything that you're allowed to say? There was a little internet drama as to your involvement, how many seasons are left, all of that.
Yeah. We're figuring it out. You know what I mean? We're figuring it out. Season 14 is being written right now, so it is happening.
Okay.
So that's good. Exactly what's going to happen, can't really give that away. But we've got one major thing planned, I will say that. We like to always have one big surprise every year, and we've got one this year that I'm pretty excited about, but I literally can't say anything about it.
Who's involved in the surprise?
Well, all of us. It's the cast of the show.
All right.
But I'll be there. I'll be there.
You'll be there? I'll be
Yeah.
part of it.
All right, looking forward to it. All right, before you go, we're gonna play a little game. We're calling it What Would Jack Griffin Do?
Okay.
There we go.
All right, look at that logo.
Cue the Apple graphic. All right.
All right, scenario one. Jack Griffin gets called in for jury duty. Is he embracing this time, or is he trying to do everything he can to get out of it?
Jack Griffin doesn't want to be responsible for anything.
Yeah.
You know, I think my guess, if let's say we were doing that episode and I was breaking that story as a writer, I would say he takes it as an opportunity to get out of school, not have to go to class, but then he tries to get out of doing jury duty by claiming that he's a multiple felon.
Okay, right.
But then he realizes that he does actually want to adjudicate that case, and so he tries to get back in, but now he has a felony on his record, and then later he wants to buy a gun and he can't because he's a felon.
So
Wow,
it becomes
you've thought
I just
about
wrote that whole
this.
story. Wow.
I mean, if the writer's room has any blockage issues,
There we
just
go.
invite this guy in. The ideas are flowing. Scenario two, Jack is being audited by the IRS. What's his next move?
I think what he does is he goes, you know what? I can't be audited by the IRS because I'm already being audited. He pulls like a Donald Trump type
Got it.
thing, where he goes like, well, actually, you guys can't audit me because there's already an audit.
It's already happening.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can't be audited as long as I'm already. So he's
Double down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, scenario three. Jack is sentenced to community service. How does he give back to Toledo?
You know, he's going to pick the easiest thing. They actually, and I know this sadly because I've been arrested and I had to do community service. So they give you a list of.
What'd you have to do?
Here's the real
That's a
juice.
whole other thing.
Woo!
They give you a list of like things that you can choose from, and some of them aren't that bad. And weirdly, the thing I chose was I taught Haitian immigrants how to read English.
Oh, wow.
At an adult, I guess high school type of, like an adult high school. They would take the high school and then it became adults at night. Yeah, that's the whole thing. I don't know what Jack would do.
Wow.
Jack would.
Yo,
We're getting.
wait, when was this that this all happened?
I was like 19.
Okay.
Well,
Former life, basically.
Glenn, thank you for being here. Wow.
I want more of that. We're going to be digging in later.
Yeah, background check. Here we go. You guys, make sure to check out the new episode of AP Bio this Thursday at 8:30 p.m. on NBC. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Bridget Moynahan has played Erin Reagan on Blue Bloods for almost 10 years now, which is just crazy. Fans absolutely love the show, and Bridget opened up to me and our guest host Danya about how far the show and the cast has come.
Well, we just got picked up for their 10th year. So that's a decade that I've been working with these people. And we're kind of like a second family. We've had all these milestones while we've been on the show, from births to deaths, marriages, everything. So we've been through a lot together.
Yeah, I was on an episode as a porn star. Sorry, Mom.
I missed
So we're
this.
basically co-stars.
I mean, we're almost related.
Yeah. It is true, but it was a very tasteful scene, you guys. It's a family show. Anyway, some of the best scenes on Blue Bloods are when the entire Reagan family gathers around the dinner table, but shooting one of those scenes can take hours. Bridget told us why she thinks it resonates so much with fans and revealed whether they're actually eating while they film them.
With the older generation, it kind of brings back the memories of when they used to do that, and the younger generation kind of is yearning for that. So it's hitting everyone, I think. I think the first couple seasons, I didn't eat anything, and then I moved into mashed potatoes, which was really bad. So for a few years there, I was eating too many mashed potatoes for 4 hours. Now I've moved to the cucumbers.
Wow.
Yeah, so,
Did you have to put in a special prop request for that? Like, I need to have cucumbers on my
I
plate.
just made bad choices for those couple years.
Honestly, eating mashed potatoes for 4 hours straight sounds like a nightmare. It takes talent. Bridget also recently accomplished something else. She became a clue on a crossword puzzle. She posted the moment on her Instagram with the caption, "Okay, pinch me, #odd goals." So we had to ask her about how that went down.
A friend of mine, I apparently was filling out the crossword, and I was one of the clues. So she sent me a photo of it.
Was that like secretly a goal of yours? Like, what did that feel to have that happen?
I did feel like I made it, to be in a crossword. I don't think it was the New York Times one, so I still have that next step.
All right, let's take one last look at our People poll. We've been asking who you think was last night's Game of Thrones MVP. I think I know who it is.
Arya, by
I mean,
far,
it was
right?
the best moment ever. I was so happy. I'm so glad that the Army of the Dead is done. We don't have to worry about that anymore. I hated the possibility of like all of our favorites dying from these zombie freak characters.
You know what they do such a good job of as they roll it out, and I love when we have characters in, giving each character a really big moment, right?
Yeah.
Like they have their significant moment, their significant episode. I remember when Gendry was here, let's just call him Gendry, when he was in here, not that long ago at all. He was just loving recounting some of his big moments, and they all, I can imagine them looking through the scenes of the script and
Yeah,
figuring
well, that's
out.
the thing about this show. We even talked to Gendry, Joe Dempsey, and
Yeah.
we were like, how do you want to die? Like, it's a show where everyone's kind of envisioning their perfect death.
Right.
So I think it's kind of fun in that regard.
And to see
I mean,
how it all-
only a few episodes left ever, which is crazy.
And how terrible for you, you're going to be traveling when
I'm
the
gonna be
finale
traveling.
happens.
I
This is
know.
torturous.
No, it's really bad.
Jeez,
So,
can we get an early
I'm
screener
gonna- yeah, I'm
from
gonna
the
need
studio?
to, like,
maybe,
stay off social
just
media
for
for that.
Andrea?
All right, we'll be asking you a new question of the day tomorrow, so make sure to tune in for that.
Coming up tomorrow, Michael Ealy and Megan Good are total couple goals, guys. In their new thriller, The Intruder, we're still saying couple goals. They'll be here live to tell us what we can expect.
Plus, we've missed her on Trading Spaces this season, but Genevieve Gorder's got a brand new interior design competition show in the works. Can't wait to chat with her about that. I'm excited because we have the Trading Spaces cast on, and we miss her. We miss Genevieve, but she has this new show that I think is going to be
I
really
get a
fun.
little Genevieve fix on her Instagram. It's beautiful. It's perfectly curated, little insight. Check it out. Follow her on the gram.
And we're gonna have to talk to her. It's funny. There's like a feet thing. Like her fans like love her feet because she always wears
Right.
bare feet.
Yeah.
So I think it's really funny. Can't wait to talk to her about that. So things I get excited for, you guys. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Saran Jones.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Saran Jones, and this is One Last Thing. My last big splurge was a family car. We really needed one. We needed to upgrade, and my son has lots of stuff. The last song stuck in my head is Transformers, Robots in Disguise. Transformers, the last show I binge watched was Killing Eve. Oh, Jodie Comer, Sandra Oh, I love you. You're amazing.
They won't catch me. Oh, listen, they might. They won't.